Don't bother me, I'm working. Don't bother me, I'm working.
So what's going on, y'all? AJ Simmons here, and I want to talk to y'all today just about remembering to show gratitude in the midst of any trial or tribulation, and to appreciate the thing that you got to go through to make it to that next level. Because I'm gonna tell you, I woke up this morning. If you follow me on Facebook, you probably saw, and I'm talking about my personal profile instead of the page that I posted this status. And I said something along the lines of basically how it just seems like nothing's going right for me right now. But I understand that that's a part of it. You know what I mean? I don't let it get to me because I know better than to let it get to me, because I understand that the things that I have to go through during this time is preparing me for the things that I'm going to have to be able to handle at a later time. So in other words, the goals that I'm trying to get to later on, I won't be able to handle those goals, that amount of responsibility, until I can handle the stuff that I'm doing at this level. And that's why I have to go through these things so I can get to the things that I want. So you got to go through to get to. And right now, so I woke up this morning. First of all, over the weekend, I had so many turn of events happen between like the end of last week and then over the weekend to this morning. And over the weekend, I got a call from my tenant about, and I'm having some structural damage over there, looks like, at my rental property. So it was like, wow, hit number one. Then I'm having a dispute between employees and one of my accounts. It's two different, it's account, you know, the account I always talk about, my favorite one, where we go to twice a day. And so I have one crew that comes in the morning, and then I have a guy that comes in the evening. So it's a morning shift and an evening shift, but it's two different people. And so the morning person is complaining about the evening person, saying they're not holding their weight. So I'm dealing with that discrepancy. You know what I mean? And then on top of all of that, I was kind of at a crossroads where I was just thinking to myself, what's next? You know, just trying to figure out what's next for me. Because when I first got into the cleaning franchise, you can't go back and look at it now because that channel is gone. But if you would have been able to go back and look at that channel, you will remember that the real main reason I bought into a cleaning franchise was not to build into an actual business. It was just simply to use it to get me out of my job so I can create that freedom during the daytime to find real things that really interest me and real investments, other than different investments, you know what I mean? But as I got into the business, I became so successful in it that I was like, you know what, it is a business. I might as well grow into a business and just keep it and roll with it, you know, and I'm so good at it. You know what I mean? And I always say that find something that you're good at and capitalize on it. And Think and Grow Rich teaches you that sometimes the thing that you're looking for are right there in front of your face. And that's what I realized with that cleaning business, is that I was looking for a business that I can turn into my own, and I wanted to be the head honcho and run this business and all of that mess. But really, the truth of the matter is I already had it, and that's what I had to realize. So that's why I stuck with the cleaning franchise and just kept rolling with it, because I was like, you know what, it's working. Why switch from something that doesn't work? You know what I mean? So, but anyway, I had all of those things come at me all at once, and I woke up this morning, made that Facebook post about you know, why it feels like things aren't going that great for me right now. It's like nothing I do right now is going good or whatever. But it's funny because I started thinking about, like, I was wondering, I always think like this, like, how would this look to people from the outside looking in? Because it's very hard to judge with me anyway, because I don't wear my heart on my sleeve. I rarely ever post personal things on Facebook anyway. And that really wasn't a personal thing, because I had a little meme to it, like I always do. Everything I post on Facebook, other than pictures of myself, but even that is kind of a meme. But everything I do is some form of motivation, you know what I mean? And I spin it. But and so this was kind of somewhat of me showing a little bit of my personal side on Facebook, something I don't usually do. But I felt like it was needed, because I think a lot of people, especially locally, look at me as if I don't have any flaws, or that that I have it all figured out. And I just don't. I really don't. And nobody does, you know what I mean? And so I decided it would be a good time to show people that, you know what, I go through it too. despite Mr. Give out all the motivational stuff and all of that, the hats that I wear, at the end of the day, we all go through it. As a matter of fact, like I tell y'all all the time, what keeps me motivated is motivating y'all. When I stop motivating, when I stop talking, and when I get away from self-help and all of that too long, I'll go into a depression. You know what I mean? So I have to stay on it. I have to keep at it. You know what I mean? Because I'll get stressed. I'll start thinking about things that are irrelevant to the growth of myself. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, I'm drifting off. I'm getting all over the place. But anyways, I'm trying to stick back to the topic. So, what I had to realize after I made that post is, once I made the post, first of all, I felt a little bit better because I had gave myself a solution as I posted it, which was, it seems like everything's not going right for me right now, but I understand that this is what I have to go through in order to get to what I'm trying to get to. So it made me feel better by even pointing that fact out to myself. But then on top of that, I started thinking, like I was saying, what would the people outside of this, outsiders think about this? And I know what they would think, like, because it'll be the main things that I would think. You always go to the big things. Oh, he must be having a girl problem. Or, that's the number one thing. And then the second number one thing is, his business must not be doing well. You know, that's what most people probably think. And I know a lot of people who are probably thinking, see, I tried to tell him he should have kept that job. He should have stayed. You know what I mean? And it was funny to me because it was neither one. You know what I mean? Like the big three things in my life are my kids, my fiance, and my business. That's like the big three. You know what I mean? Everything after that is kind of secondary. You know what I mean? And it's like, and I really do value how I'm viewed to my subscribers and people who follow me and stuff online. So that's very huge to me too. But it's like outside of that, it's really nothing. And I was starting to think about all the things that I was naming that was bothering me. It didn't really affect any of those big three things. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, that the employees get into a discrepancy is kind of business. But at the same time, like, no, business is still growing. Growth is great. You know what I mean? I'm doing fine in the revenue department, and that's really what it come down to. You know what I mean? It's like, well, and then as far as the female problem, well, first of all, well, everybody knows I've been in a monogamous relationship for God knows how long. And I just don't have female problems. Like, we go through our regular old couple stuff, but I don't have female problems. Like, that stuff don't really get to me. You know what I mean? It don't get to me too much. So I was just thinking, then my kids, they're gonna be fine as long as I'm breathing. They good, and then even after I die, they good because I set it up for it to be that way already. You know what I mean? So I was just thinking, like, what is there really to be upset about? So once I made the post and I had posted the solution to my problem within it, and then looking at my big three in my life and seeing that it didn't affect really any of them, what is there to be down about? You know what I mean? And that's when that gratitude comes in. And that's why you have to keep that in mind, and you have to find a way to be thankful every single day from the time you wake up, in the middle of the day, and then right before you go to sleep. You need to be mindful of the things that you are appreciative of. You know what I mean? Be thankful. You know what I mean? Like, appreciate your blessings, appreciate your gifts, appreciate your talents, appreciate the life that you have. You know what I mean? Because there's so many things that you have right now that you begged for to get. You know what I mean? You remember those prayers that you was given? You know what I mean? That you were, if you could just give me this, you know, or if you're not religious or spiritual, remember those wishes that you were having? If I could just get this, you know what I mean? And now you have that, and you don't even pay it no damn mind. You got it. You have it. Look around for a minute. Just think about what you got going on in your life. You created it. Thoughts really do become things, and if you don't believe me, look around right now and tell me that there's not things going on in your life right now that you didn't see beforehand. That you bought this day. I remember when we first got our first apartment, and we went out the neighborhood and we would just scope it out. We went out the neighborhood at least probably about 20 times before we moved in. You know what I mean? With the process of getting approval and saving up for the first month's rent and deposit and just looking. You know, that whole process, we probably went out the neighborhood 20 times and visualized. And we didn't know a damn thing about law of attraction at 19 years old. I was 19 and Regina was 18. We didn't know nothing about that. But that's what we were doing. You know what I mean? And you look at that and and we turn around and got it. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, look around, look at your life. You created the situation that you're in for yourself. All of it, good or bad. Because if you sleeping on somebody else's couch right now, guess what? It's probably because you weren't able to visualize yourself in your own place. Being completely independent, working for yourself, doing your own stuff, paying your own bills. You got to visualize that first. Be able to see yourself in that space. You know what I mean? If you don't have the car you want, because you feel like it's a dream, you didn't actualize. Let me tell you something about that car. Man, when I first got back with Jenny, because we wasn't together in high school too, and then I went away to the military, came back, and we got back together. And when I first got back with her, I asked her, I said, what is your dream car? Because I'm trying to plan it. And again, I had no clue about law of attraction and none of that. But I just somehow had that was able to tap into that infinite intelligence to be able to know how to do that type of stuff. So anyway, I'm asking her, what's your dream car? And she tells me a Honda Accord. I'm like, don't get me wrong, a Honda Accord is a great running car. They're good cars. But I said, wait a minute, no. I mean, what's your dream? Because she didn't have a car at the time. Like she had money saved up in the bank by that time, and I told her whatever she had, I'll match it, and we'll go buy her a car from the auction, which we did. It was a Chevy Malibu. But anyway, at the time after we bought it, I was asking, well, what's your dream car? And she told me a Honda Accord. And I told her, I said, no, I mean your dream car, like the one that you always wanted. And so she thought about it for a good little while, and she said, well, really, I did kind of always like Range Rovers. I do want a Range Rover. It used to be a GMC Denali, I think is what she said. He said, but I really like a Range Rover though. And I told her, all right, bet. So we gonna get a Range Rover. I'm gonna get us a Range Rover. I'm gonna get you a Range Rover. I'm gonna get me a Cadillac, and we're gonna move in this 3-story townhouse. And we hung that on the wall, which was a vision board, which I didn't know that was what that was at the time. You know what I mean? But with the exception of that 3-story townhouse, we manifested 2 out of the 3 things. And the reason why we didn't manifest the townhouse is simply because over time our desires changed anyway. We decided we didn't even want that. But you gotta understand, you creating your own reality, and the reality that you have, you need to be grateful for it because you created it. You created it, and that's why it's so important to be thankful at all times. While everything that might seem like is going so wrong, you have to appreciate the things that are going right, because 9 times out of 10 they outweigh the bad. And that'll keep you in good spirits and keep you pushing to make it to that next level. You see what I'm saying? Always be thankful. Appreciate the struggle and understand that even when you're going through something, it's for a reason. It's preparing you for that next level. Alright, so I've been talking for a while. I done got into it today. So, but anyway, I appreciate y'all for watching, subscribing, liking, sharing, and commenting. I'll be back with y'all later on today at 12 o'clock. And I just want to stop because I felt like I was going too far. But anyway, thank y'all so much, and I appreciate it. I talked to y'all at 12 with my cleaning business video today. Thank y'all.